saying they are. Well, he didn't. They're yours? welcome to the 2019-2020 PACWEST Volleyball Championships, hosted by Douglas College. Before we begin, we'd like to acknowledge the traditional and unceded Aboriginal territories of the Coast Salish peoples, and in particular the Kakite First Nation, on whose territory we work, live, and play, and whose territory we stand upon. For our first game of the day is the women's semifinal match between the number 2 seed Camosun College Chargers and the number 6 seed Capilano University Blues. Thank you to the teams and officials and fans for coming out to tonight's game. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you can and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem. Before we announce the starting lineups, the PACWEST would like to recognize the following Chargers athletes for their outstanding play through the regular season. The Blues athletes were presented with their awards during yesterday's match. Presenting the awards on behalf of PACWEST is Vice President of Tech, Brian McLennan. From the Camosun College Chargers, all-rookie team member, Grace May. Second team All-Star, Hannah May. Second team All-Star, Katie Whaling. First team All-Star, Mika Yamada. And Coach of the Year, Brent Hall. Congratulations to all the winners. And now for the starting lineups. From the visiting team, Capilano Blues. Starting at outside hitter, number 1, Eva Nagata. Starting at libero, number 2, Vanessa Gatto. Starting at outside hitter, number 7, Megan Cogan. Starting at libero, number 8, Brooke Lightburn. Starting at outside hitter, number 11, Daphne Kung. Starting at center, number 15, Kelsey Towers. Starting at middle, number 16, Olivia Hugiston. And finally, starting at middle, number 17,
23.
Jaylene Lucas. For the home team, Camosun Chargers. Starting at middle, number 5, Grace Kazanowski. Starting outside, number 7, Rael Zakharov. Starting outside, number 8, Mika Yamada. Starting at libero, number 9, Karina McNeese. Starting outside, number 12, Cindy Swissenetz. Starting at middle, number 18, Gracie May. And the head coach is Brent Hall.
Welcome to day 2 of the 2020 PACWEST Volleyball Championships. My name is Ryan Waters as we get set for semifinal Friday. Starting it off in the women's bracket, the number 6-seeded Capilano Blues taking on the number 2-seeded Camosun Chargers. During the regular season, Chargers, who earned the bye into this semifinal, finished 15-9 overall. The Blues, who shocked the Douglas Royals yesterday in 5 thrilling sets, finished their overall regular season 9-15. They met each other 4 times during the regular campaign. The Chargers winning all 4 matches, losing just 1 set. So the Chargers have dominated the Blues, but don't count the Capilano Blues out just yet, as they eliminated the number 3 seeded Douglas Royals in a thriller yesterday, down 2 sets to 1, won the fourth set 25-14, and then that 5th and deciding set 15-6 after jumping out 7-0. It was a thriller yesterday. And we'll see what the Blues can do here against the number 2 Chargers. Chargers wearing their home uniforms. Those are the white jerseys you see on your screen on the left-hand side. As far as the Chargers go, the Blues go rather, they're in blue, and they start off 1-0 as Jaylene Lucas goes up and over the nets. Lucas makes it 1-0. Blues on the right side of your screen wearing the Blues. Here go the Chargers go to work. That's Mika Yamada gets her first kill of the postseason. Yamada, 215 kills throughout the regular season, earned herself a first-team All-Star nod, and she makes it 1-1. And now we'll go back to serve. Second-year player out of Japan. When she got to Camosun and Victoria last year, barely spoke English. Now they tell me she can hold a conversation, which is good. Nice dig there by Kelsey Towers, the setter for the Blues, number 15. That one right down the line, and a kill for Rael Zacharuk. Zacharuk, an outstanding player, 3rd year out of Kamloops. And Yamada will go back to serve. Yamada with those high black socks and what looks like elbow pads. And that's Stephanie Kung with the nice pass, wrap around, and that'll be a kill for Humason. Olivia Humanson, who was terrific in last night's quarterfinal victory over Douglas, gets her first kill of this semifinal. And now Kelsey Towers will go back to serve. Towers, 5'7" in her 2nd season with the Blues. Out of Terry Fox secondary, her first serve is up and over the net, played there nicely by Taylene Papanio. Now the Blues go to work. There's Kung. Nice dig by the libero McNeese. The Blues back to work. That's Nagata with her first swing of the semifinal. Dug nicely by Camosun, and here they come. Blues now go back to work. That's in the middle. And on the net will be the Chargers. That makes it 3-2 Blues. Here's the serve, and the Chargers will go to work offensively. They'll just send it over. Nice dig by Lightburn. Towers will feed Coven. Coven is rejected. 2 blockers up there, including Sydney Swisonets and Gracie May. And now the first substitution is Grace Kazanowski will come in for the first time. Big body up front wearing number 5. 6'1", 3rd year out of Victoria. Has some pretty rich bloodlines. Her dad played Team Canada Olympic basketball and was drafted in the NBA. Towers go over here to Kung. Kung dug there by the Chargers. They'll go back to work. Swissadex, she is partially blocked. Ball will go over the net and will be sent down by Kazanowski. Gets her first point of this semifinal. 4-3 Chargers. It's a pretty cool story that her dad was drafted by the NBA. Never played in the NBA, but did play in Europe. Here's Gracie May, part of the all-rookie team. Lightburn's pass, tough to handle. Nagata will send up Kung. Kung will go cross court, tracked down by the Chargers. Swissanek will send it over, and it hit Kung, I think. Nevertheless, it lands inbounds, and it's 5-3 Camosun. Camosun in this month of February has struggled, 0-4 coming into the postseason. The Blues, after their victory yesterday, now 2-3 this month. Lightburn's pass up against the net. Towers plays it, then Coven sends it over. Free ball for the Chargers, trying to use it. Swissanek, Towers with the dig. Lightburn, she'll send it to Coven again. Coven goes cross court, but May is there. Off a block, perhaps. We'll see what the referee calls. And it is a kill for the Chargers and Zacharuk. Rael Zacharuk in her 3rd season. And back to serve again, Gracie May. 27 aces on the regular season. Towers will track this one down. This is Kung. She'll just send it over, but this is rejected. In the middle, tipped over again, rejected. And sent right back. Nagata. Chargers go back to work. Swizenek is rejected, but the Chargers are there. And this time, Zacharek goes into the net. Good defense on both sides, right at the front of the net there. Kazanowski causing all sorts of problems for the Blues attackers, sending two right back the other way. 6-4, Chargers with the lead, and Megan Coven. Fifth and final season, Coven. Yamada with the nice pass. Zacharek mishit, and it goes out of bounds. I should mention that the winner of this match is also going to punch their ticket to the CCAA National Championship. PACWEST receiving 2 berths. The winner, the gold medalist, which we'll find out tomorrow, and also the runners-up. Swizenek, her pass goes up and over, and Nagata sends it right back down. And the reason because of that is thanks to the VIU Mariners. The Mariners have won the last 2 national championships, which gives the PACWEST an extra berth. And Coven in a tie ball game. Her serve. Yamada with the pass. Swizenek goes off a block and out of bounds, gets the point. Swizenek's in her fourth season out of Spruce Grove. She'll go back to serve now wearing number 12 in white, 5'9". Here's Swizenek's. The jump serve. Good pass by Lightburn. Going to set up Kung. Kung, a little tip. Yamada is there. Chargers go to work. Zacharek off the hands of Towers and out of bounds. And it goes 8-6, Camosun Chargers. Swissenet's with a very interesting summer job. She worked at a funeral home. At least she was working, right? Not a lot of people, I'm sure, applied. Swissenet's did. Got the job. Made some cash. Towers will track that one down. Nagata. Nagata has it tipped. Yamada is there. Chargers go back to work offensively. Zacharek down the line, but out. So a side out for the Blues. And back to serve, Olivia Humiston. Graduate of Holy Cross Regional. And Humiston will stand there in the left-hand side corner, and here she comes. Chargers will go to work. Swissenets and Kazanowski. Miscommunication. I got it, you take it. And it falls to the floor, and it scores at 8-8. Humiston, her serve. Yamada can handle it. And out of bounds, 9-8. Blues still trying to ride that momentum after yesterday's come-from-behind victory over Douglas. Winning 25-14 in the fourth and 15-6 in that fifth and final set. Tracked down by Swissenets, and this will go into that point to the Blues. The Blues, I should mention, lost that opening set in that quarterfinal 25-10. Looked like they had no business playing with Douglas, but then they came back immediately and won 25-18. And then won it in 5. Off the top of the twine. And the Chargers, Zacharek. Somebody's on the net, it's the Blues. Looks like Kung touched the net. So back to the Chargers, and it's 10-9. Well, Zacharek will go back to serve. Graduate of Valley View Secondary there in Kamloops. And here she comes. Her serve, popped up by Coven. This one just tapped over by Lucas. There's a tip by the center of the Chargers. And now Kung will go to work. And again, somebody on the net looks like. Oh, it's 4 hits. 4 hits against the Blues. Zacharek back to work. Zacharek serve. Coven with a nice pass to Towers. Set up Kung again. Kung of Swissanek, and this will find the back wall. Point to the Chargers, a kill for Kung, and it's 11-10. Pompanio the setter, back set. That one a nice kill by Kazanowski. Beautiful set behind her back. The rookie Pompanio. Now the libero will go have a seat. McNeese will depart, and Gracie May will check back in. We haven't even seen Hannah May or Katie Whaling. A couple of all-stars. Not even in the starting rotation for Brent Hall's Chargers. And the Blues will go to work offensively. Here's Nagata. Nagata down the line and in. Tied at 11. Pompanio will chase that one down. Now Yamada. Yamada gets a little tip over. She's been fairly quiet so far in this semifinal. Hasn't totally got going yet. It'll take a little bit of time for the Chargers to shake a little rust off. Now they did play in that final weekend, last weekend, but they lost both matches that they played in. Like I said, 0-4 since we turned the calendar to the month of February. No love, I guess, for the Chargers in this month of love. Tie ball game. Here comes Yamada. Dug nicely by Lightburn. Towers will go to work. Now here's Coven off the block. Yamada is there. Back set. Swissanettes. Nagata is there. In the middle, Lucas. I don't know if she got it over the net or not. I think it hit the top of the net. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. The referees say 4 hits. And it's 13-12 Chargers. Good rally. Back and forth. These two teams going right at each other. 13-12, Chargers with the lead. Pompanio will go back to serve. Lightburn with the pass to Towers. That's Coven down the line and off the ceiling. Pompanio couldn't handle that one. Well, she could, and then it went off the ceiling. We saw a number of times balls hitting the ceiling here at Douglas College yesterday with a bunch of dust that would come down. Good thing the sweepers are on it today. Jaylene Lucas now. Lucas in her second year out of Surrey, her serve. Handled there by Swissanettes. Here's Yamada, a little tip. Perfectly placed by Miki Yamada. She had the kill, I guess, to start the ball game. Since then, just a couple of tips. Speaking of Yamada, there she goes back to serve now. Yamada will throw it high. Here she comes. Good pass by Nagata, tipped over by Towers. Here go the Chargers. Gracie May will send it just inside the line to get the point. Smart play by Gracie May. Not looking like a rookie. And Yamada once again will go back to serve. Mika Yamada, terrific last year, terrific again this season. Here she comes. Chased down by Towers. Trying to set up Coven. Coven will take a run at it. Yamada with the dig. Zacharuk will send it over. Kung will chase that one down and gets it to Coven. Coven rejected there by May. Ball goes over. Free ball for the Chargers. Let's see if they can handle it. Good dig by Nagata. Backdoor Kung. No blocker, but Yamada is there. Chased down there by the libero. There looks communication there between the libero McNeese and the setter Pompanio. And it's 15-14. Chargers with the lead. Kelsey Towers back to serve. Towers serve. Handled there by McNeese. Backdoor, Swissanek. She goes off the block, almost off the referee. And it's 16-14. McNeese will leave, and in comes Kazanowski. So a pair of Graces. Well, one Gracie and one Grace on the floor for Camosun. This is Gracie with the serve to Coven. Towers going to set up Megan. She goes down the line and just too far. And it's 17-14 Chargers. Winner of this will play in tomorrow's gold medal match at 5:30. Loser will play tomorrow at the same time for bronze. Gracie May. Lightburn with the pass to Towers. Towers setting up Coven, little tip. Swissanet was there, however. That one rejected. Humiston with a huge block for the Blues. And it's 17-15. McNeese will come back in as Gracie May departs and Megan Coven goes back to the line. First team All-Star. Had 11 kills in yesterday's win over the Royals. Got a couple here already. Her serve. Handled there by McNeese. She's rejected. Again, Humison with a huge block. Her second in as many points. Swissanet's got to try to get around the block somehow of Humiston. Easier said than done. Plus you got Nagata on that far side too. Coven serve. McNeese with a nice pass. Gonna go to Zacharek. That one partially blocked. Chargers have it. Swissanet goes off a block. Coven is there. Towers. Backside for Kung. A little tip. Yamada with a nice dig. Swissanet's again. Coven is there. Good rally. Towers gets it to Nagata. Off the arms. Backdoor for Yamada. Lightburn was there. Back set. This is Kung. Another nice dig by McNee. That one tipped over. Towers is there. Here's Kung. Cross court. Off the hands of Swissanets. And finally the point is won. What a rally between the Chargers and the Blues. And now Brett Hall wants to call a timeout. In a 17-17 match, back and forth they go. Humiston getting a bunch of hugs as she comes off the floor after two big blocks. But how about the defense? Yamada with a couple of nice digs. She had 201 during the regular season. She led the Chargers in that category. Pretty good. She leads the Chargers in kills and in digs, doing it on both sides of the floor. And she showed off her ability there. A couple of dives, the slides, and Yamada pops it up. So good defense on both sides. And yeah, like I said, you flip it over to the Blues side, and Humison has been huge at the net. 2 blocks and then a couple partial blocks, all in that 1 point. So 17-17, opening set of this semifinal between the Chargers and the Blues. Well, coming out of the timeout, Chargers on the floor first. The Blues will come on after the referee's whistle. And Coven will go back to serve. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast so far. If you're in Victoria or North Vancouver or wherever you may be listening or watching from, thanks for tuning in on this Friday afternoon. Beautiful New Westminster, BC. There's a back set. Swissanet off the block, and it'll be a point. Yamada and Humison again. Boy, those girls are having their way at the net on the defensive side. Don't be surprised if Swissanet maybe tries a tip next time. Here's Coven. If she gets that chance, but this one off McNee's hands. And it's 19-17. Coven back to serve again after that ace. Coven throws it high. Here she comes. McNeese, that's a better pass. Backdoor for Yamada. Doug, oh, there's someone on the net. Looks like it was Humison who was on the net this time, trying for another big block after the back set for Mika Yamada. And Swissanet now will go back to serve. There's Spruce Grove, and here she comes. Lightburn with a nice pass to Towers. Towers will go to Nagata power side, and Nagata misses wide. And it's tied at 19. Chargers trying to get that momentum back now. Swissanet checks over the defense, and here she comes. Lightburn, another nice pass. This is Nagata again, pushes that one. Swissanet is there. Set power side. Zacharek goes too long, and point to Capilano. Substitution for the Blues. In comes Courtney Mueller for this first time. Mueller, a second-year player out of Langley, as Humason will have a seat. Mueller, hopefully she had her pregame Coca-Cola, as apparently that's her pregame ritual. Back set. Colvin is there. Towers, backdoor for Kung. Kung, Yamada with another nice dig. This one tipped. Nagata is there. Right back to Kung. Kung off a block. Yamada somehow saves it, and the Chargers punch it over, and they get the point. How about that play? Even the coach of the Capilano Blues, Rob Gow, looks at them and claps for that play. Mika Yamada somehow able to dig that off the ground, and the Chargers punch it over and get the point. What a terrific play. That's the play of the tournament so far, whether you're looking at the women's bracket or the men's bracket. Outstanding. Zacharuk, this one against the net, pushed right back down by Kazanowski. A two-handed flush, like her dad does on the basketball floor. And now the Blues call a timeout, trailing by a point, 21-20. Remember, they led by a pair, but the Chargers have momentum thanks in large part to that play by Yamada. Going here on the out-of-bounds line with the dive, somehow just punched it up, and then the rest of the Chargers teammates didn't want that effort to go to waste. And punched it all the way to the back line where no Blue was patrolling. It was outstanding. Our second women's semifinal coming up at 5:30 tonight. The number one top-seeded Vancouver Island University Mariners, number one in the country, 24-0 during the regular season, taking on the fourth-seeded UFV Cascades, who played in a fifth and decisive set of their own yesterday, eliminating the Cotter Avalanche from play. That's at 5:30 tonight. That's the women's bracket. The men's bracket will see action coming up next. The Capilano Blues taking on the Mariners. Paired teams that finished 2-3 in the standings, both with 18-6 records. Some of the Blues men's are in attendance as they're cheering on their ladies. Some Chargers are also here. The Camosun Chargers men's squad will play in the final semifinal tonight when they take on the number one Douglas Royals at 8 o'clock. So a lot of semifinals here today as we just get going here in this opening set. Kung has to chase that one down, and her bump goes way too far, and then going on the other side of the antenna is Nagata. Good effort by Nagata. Just a little too much power by Kung. Must have had a big breakfast. Zacharuk now will go back to serve again. The 2-point advantage. Zacharuk at 5'10". Coven with a nice pass to Towers. Towers wanted to do a quick set for Lucas, but that quick set basically ran along the bottom of the net. And now another timeout by the Blues. And it's 23-20. And the momentum certainly on the side of the Chargers right now. But a very competitive match so far, or set so far. Here at Douglas, both teams will have losing records. The Chargers lost both matches that they were here this season. And they were just here at the beginning of the month, February 1st and 2nd. As for the Blues go, they were 0-2, but with that victory yesterday, they run the record to 1-2 here at Douglas on this floor. 23-20 coming out of the timeout. Chargers with the advantage. And both teams will enter the floor now. And Zacharuk will go back to serve again for Camosun. Came over, I believe, yesterday. Staying at the same hotel, both these teams. And so am I, believe it or not. Here's the serve. Kung with a nice pass to Towers. As Lucas skies for that one, almost got or stayed up. And now a 4-hit call. And Gatto will come into the ball game for the Blues. Lightburn will have a seat. Set point now for the Chargers. So a couple of missed time sets by Towers and Lucas. We'll see if they can get on the same page going forward. Gatto with a nice pass to Towers. This is Nagata off a block. Swisonets is there. Here's Yamada. Yamada, however, no, it's the Blues on the nets. And the Chargers strike first in this semifinal. 25-20 Camosun with the victory, and now a 1-0 lead in this semifinal. We'll take a quick break, be back with the second set, the Chargers and the Blues at the 2020 PACWEST Volleyball Championships. To the second set we go of this women's semifinal between the Capilano Blues, the 6th seed, and the number 2 seed Camosun Chargers. Some stats to throw at you. After that first set, Mika Yamada leading all attackers. She had 6 kills. Zakharuk had 5 kills, but Yamada also had 8 digs, including a highlight reel dig right in front of the scorer's table, which, again, I think is still the play of the tournament so far. As far as the Blues go, Nagata had 2 kills, Koven had a kill, Kung had 2, Humason had 2, but she also had 4 blocks. And Lightburn had 5 digs. So those are your leaders so far. Early on again, the opening set went to the Chargers, 25-20 in a very competitive first set. Blues had the lead, Chargers came back, Blues came back, then the Chargers held on. And they win, like I said, that opening set. Pompanio, the setter, will start with the serve just off the top of the net, and here go the Blues to work. Nagata, nice dig there by Pompanio. Now Yamada. Yamada gets it just inside the line. Took a little off it, just got it up and over the blocks, and then right down the line. 1-0 Camosun. Remember, the Blues took a 1-0 lead in the opening set. We'll see if that changes anything. It is only 1 point. Pompanio, her serve. Handled there by Lightburn. Nice pass, Towers. Nice dig there. That was Zakharuk with the nice dig. Swisonet's off a block. Lightburn tracks it down. Here's Koven now. Koven off a block. Yamada's there, but the Chargers are on the net. And it's 1-1. Towers will go back to serve. Here's the serve by Towers. Zakharuk. Pompanio will chase that one down. Swisonet's off the arms of Lightburn and makes it 2-1. Swisonet's with a big kill. She was, unfortunately for her, stuffed a lot of the times in that opening set. She did finish with 3 kills, but most of the blocks by Humiston, who has 4 of them, were again Swisonet's. Here's Yamada. Good pass by Koven. In the middle, nice dig there by McNeese. Zakharuk Great dig by Towers. Colvin will just two-hand it over. In the middle for Gracie May, she's rejected. Blues control. Back set for Colvin, she's rejected. Off Colvin, Towers tried to keep it alive and then out of bounds. Well, Gracie May, who was rejected, gets it back. Colvin then stuffed. And great defense at the net from these two teams. And Yamada will go back to work. 5'6" out of Japan. Here she comes. Good pass by Lightburn. This is Kung. Kung up over the block. McNeese is there. Pompanio somehow keeps it alive. McNeese is going to send it all the way over. Kung was there. Back set. This is Nagata. Pompanio with a dig. McNeese with a back set. That's Zacharuk, and she hits the top of the net. Three-two Chargers. And Colvin back to serve. She had a good string of serves in that opening set. And here she comes. McNeese with a nice pass. Pompanio. Swissonettes. Colvin with a nice dig. This is Nagata, a little tip. Zacharuk is there. Free ball now for the Blues. Can they use it? Good placement by the Chargers. Towers in the middle. Humiston gets it down in front of the block. Point to the Blues, and then knotted at 3. Megan Colvin, her 5th and final season, has started 4 of the 5 positions in her 5 years with Capilano. McNeese right up against the net. Swissonettes. Colvin digs it. Towers pops it up, and Nagata partially blocked by May, and it's down on the Chargers' side. 4-3 Blues. Excellent defense by Colvin and Towers. Here's Colvin. Takes a step to her right, and now she'll deliver. And it's out of bounds. Maybe she should have stayed where she was, because that was about a step to the right of the sideline. Back in the game for the Chargers is Kazanowski. And Gracie May back to serve. May 27 aces in the regular campaign. Colvin with the pass to Towers right up against the net. Here's Kung. Kung down the sideline, but out of bounds. Point to the Chargers, and they take a 5-4 lead. Won that opening set, remember? 25-20. Here's Gracie May. Her serve. Nice pass by Lightburn. Nagata rejected, but Lightburn is there. Towers going to set up Nagata again, off the block and into the corner for a point for Capilano. Good adjustment by Nagata, as Lightburn will leave. Jaylene Lucas back in. Gracie May departs as well for the Chargers, and McNeese is back in. The serve, McNeese. Pompanio, this is Zacharuk, and she goes long. And it's 6-5 Cap. Humiston will go back. Humiston, pardon me. That is Surrey in her first season with Capilano. A ton of first and second year players on this Blues team. And that one goes long. The only player, well, 2 players in their 3rd year or above, Brooke Lightburn, who played at Cotter for 2 years. She's in her 3rd season, and Colvin in her 5th. Everyone else in their 1st or 2nd season with the Blues. So the future looks bright for Capilano if they can keep this core together. Swissonettes. Lightburn with a nice pass to Towers. Quick set for Lucas. Partially blocked. Chargers will go to work. Zacharuk. Towers now. Gets it to Nagata off the block. Swissonettes is there. And Yamada will send it over. In the middle, Lucas partially blocked. Ball up in the air. Yamada from that back court. Colvin with a dig. Pompanio makes no mistake, as Colvin's dig went too far over the nets. And Pompanio said thank you and slammed it down. Her first season out of Victoria. No stranger to big pressure games, winning 3 high school provincial championships, 1 as a junior and a back-to-back as a senior. Swissonettes now, and her serve goes wide. Now a substitution. Katie Whaling and Hannah May for the first time in this semifinal will come in. Whaling will take out Swisonets, and Hannah May will come in and take out Pompanio. So I would imagine Katie Whaling will become the center for the Chargers with her pink shoelaces. In a 7-7 tie, 2 second-team All-Stars not coming into the second set. Here's Hannah May, or pardon me, that's Kung. This is Hannah May, and she delivers a kill up the middle. May, during the regular season, was terrific in her second year, and comes in with a big kill here off the bench. Zakharuk, her serve into the net, and ties it at 8. That'll kill a little bit of momentum. Get a huge kill from May. You want to keep it going, and the serve goes into the net for a service error. And now Eva Nagata, part of the all-rookie team, will go back to serve. And her serve is wide as well. So teams trading service errors. And it's 9-8. And for the first time, Kazanowski will go back to serve. Grace Kazanowski. Here's her serve. Kung with the pass to Towers. Lucas a little tip, and it's gonna work. Tied at 9 as these teams go back and forth. Hubiston back into the ball game, as is McNeese. Lucas back to serve now. Jaylene Lucas. Her serve. Katie Whaling with a set. Yamada! Lucas saves it. And the Blues will just have to send it over. Koven does just that. Here's Whaling in the middle to Yamada. Yamada! Dug there by Nagata. And Nagata will just tip it over. Hannah May is there. Whaling right back to May. That's rejected. Yamada there. Yamada gets right back up and hits the top of the net. Yamada was a little bit out of position after trying to chase down that loose ball, and Whaling, maybe ill-advised, went right back to her when she wasn't quite set. And it's 10-9 Blues. And Lucas goes back to work. Her serve. Zakharuk with a nice pass to Whaling. Backdoor for May. May dug nicely there by Nagata. Nagata will now send it over. Whaling chases that one down, sends it to Zakharuk. There's a dig by Kung against the net. And Towers couldn't quite get to it. 10-10. Lightburn will come back in for Lucas. And a couple of more subs. Pompanio will come back in, as will Swisonets. Interesting substitution choices. Whaling in her 5th and final season has been a veteran, has played in a lot of big games, including national championship games. But she's going to come off the bench again. Towers, this is Koven. Koven rejected and off the head of Swisonets right in front of me. And Swisonets couldn't find it, as Gracie May and Swisonets were there. However, the ball just squeaked on the other side, and then as Swisonets was coming down, the ball hit her in the head. Here's Towers. Towers serve. Good pass. Pompanio will send up Yamada on this side now. Just a little tip, nobody there. Yamada, perfect time for that tip, and ties at 11. Speaking of 11, number 11, Madison Ewell will come in for the Chargers. Zakharuk will have a seat. Madison Ewell in her 3rd season out of Powell River. She'll play the front court. Yamada, her serve. Lightburn is there. Backdoor, this is Koven, partially blocked. Yamada keeps it alive. This is Ewell, fresh in the game, and just inside the back line, Ewell finds it and gets a kill. (12-11). As Ewell was talking to Coach Hull, getting some last-second instructions. And now Yamada, her serve. Lightburn with the pass. Towers going to feed Kung. Kung goes into the net. And it's 13-11. Now a substitution for the Blues, as Maya Griffith will come in. Kung will have a seat. Griffith in her first season, still rookie. I believe she's a left-handed swinger as well. Kung will have a quick breath, 13-11. Chargers with the lead, here's Yamada. That a tough pass by Nagata. And it's an ace for Yamada and the Chargers, and now a timeout called. Yamada, 47 aces through the regular season. Clearly the best player on the floor for the Chargers during the regular campaign. 215 kills, 47 aces, 201 digs. She was outstanding and has carried that over here to the postseason. Coming up next weekend, the PACWEST will set its sight on the PACWEST Basketball Championships hosted by Capilano. Starts next Thursday. The basketball side of things here in the PACWEST will wrap up the regular season this weekend with games tonight and tomorrow. 3 games on tap on both sides of the women and men's side for basketball, and then we'll be in Capilano next weekend starting Thursday for the PACWEST Championships. Winners will move on. VIU hosting the Women's National Basketball Tournament, the championship. So VIU is already in, and they are leading the PACWEST standings as well. So essentially the PACWEST will have 2 representatives both in women's volleyball, the national championships, and the women's basketball side of things, with the host being VIU. Out of the timeout, 14-11 the score. Chargers in front, Mika Yamada back to serve. Yamada, who just had an ace before that timeout, delivers the ball to Nagata. Towers, go back door for Nagata, who finds an open spot. Nagata with a point, and it's 14-12 Chargers. And Coven back to serve. Winner of this match on their way to the PACWEST gold medal match and the CCAA National Championship, which, if I'm not mistaken, is in Quebec this year for the women. Off the top of the net, Yamada somehow tracks it down, now gets right back up and sends it long. Yamada been saying in that huddle, you know, there are other players on the floor. You might want to send it to them when I'm on the ground. Good agility, though. There's pop right back up. Just couldn't quite get enough top spin on it to send it down. 14-13 Chargers. And Coven. Coven serve. McNeese. Here's Ewell. Ewell with the kill. Boy, Madison Ewell has come in immediately off the bench and contributed with 2 giant kills, making it 15-13. McNeese will leave, and Kazanowski will check in. Here's the serve by Gracie May. Coven with the pass to Towers. The left-handed Griffiths partially blocked. Pomponio is going to set up Swisonets, and she gets it inside the line. Sydney's Swisonets. 16-13. Lightburn will check out. Gatto in the ball game for the Blues. Acting as now their libero. Chargers don't have a libero out there at the moment. Gatto's pass into the stands, and it's 17-13. Chargers with the advantage. Coming up post-match, we'll catch up with the player of the match of the winning team along with the head coach. We'll hear feedback from a player's perspective and a coaching perspective. They got it with a nice pass. Backdoor, Griffiths gets it down in front of the block. And that's her first point of the playoffs. She told me yesterday, Maya Griffiths, that she's never had a nosebleed. There's some players around saying, well, don't get hit in the face today. Don't jinx it. So far, so good. Here's Ewell. Ewell off an arm. And Ewell with her 3rd kill since coming off the bench. Makes it 18-14. Swisonets now will go back to serve with a 4-point lead. Swisonets has played in some big matches herself, now in her 4th year with Camosun. Griffiths will have to chase that one down, and now Coven will just send it over. Backdoor. Kazanowski with a kill off a block. Grace Kazanowski. And now a timeout by the Blues. As Coach Gao thinking this one getting a little bit too out of control. 19-14 the score in favor of Camosun. Remember, the Chargers and Blues met 4 times during the regular season. Camosun winning all 4, losing just 1 set. That was it, so they were dominant. Blues trying to break the trend. Winner moves on to the gold medal match, and not sure who they'll face quite yet, as we'll find out in the next women's semifinal coming up at 5:30. Featuring the top-seeded Mariners taking on the 4th-seeded Cascade. Speaking of the Mariners, the men's Mariners squad has just filed in here to the gymnasium in anticipation of their semifinal match with the Blues. That one, I think a lot of people are anticipating to be one of the better matches, maybe the best match of the day. Not to take anything away from this match or the next 2 this late afternoon, early evening. But both teams 18-6, very competitive. Should be fun to watch, just like this one is. Blues go to work. That one partially blocked. I think it went off somebody's face and went back to the Capilano side. Griffiths dug there by McNeese. Set up Ewell. Ewell a little tip, but tipped right back in at her by Lucas. And the Blues get a point. Previous to that, I think a block went off Kazanowski's forehead and went over the net. Well, use whatever you can to block it. And Griffiths will go back to serve the lefty. Swissonettes, nice tip by Papanio, and finds an open spot. Perfect time for that play. And Zacharuk now will come back into the game for the Chargers. And Ewell will have his seat after a very, very stellar outing. 3 big kills, good presence at the net. Now she'll have a seat as Zacharuk will go back to serve with a 5-point advantage. Here she comes, but into the net. And Ewell may be looking at Coach Hall saying, well, I could have done that, Coach. You don't need to take me out for that. Legata will go back to serve on the basketball out-of-bounds line. And here she comes, trying to get the Blues back in this one. McNeese with a nice pass. Here's Yamada, dug there by Griffiths. Bump set for Coven. Coven will send it over. McNeese is there. Here's Yamada again. Little tip. Towers tips it up. Griffiths with the nice save. And Nagata will send it over. Kazanowski. Again, Griffiths with the dig. And Nagata, good effort by her to dive into the stands. Oh, what a play again by Griffiths. And the Blues now a couple of substitutions here, as Kirchmar will come in for the Chargers, as will Bella McKimmey. And Julia Kirchmar will go back to serve, with Gracie May having a seat, and also Kazanowski. So 21-16 as Brent Hall starts to work his bench. The serve. Here's Coven. Coven, nicely dug there by Zacharuk. This one too tight to the nets, and will go out of the net and out of bounds. Kazanowski will check right back in as Kurtzmar with that serve, and then we'll go have a seat. And Kazanowski departs, and the libero, McKinney, will come back in. McNeese, pardon me. Now a substitution on the Blues side as well, as coming into the ball game will be Courtney Mueller. We saw that in the opening set, as Lucas will have a seat. So Mueller will go back, the second-year player to Langley. And here she comes. Yamada with a nice pass. She's gonna get it right back is Mika. Off a block, Nagata is there. Here's Coven. Coven off a block and gets it down. Good power by Megan Coven. And it's 21-18. And Mueller will get another crack at it. Here's Mueller. Swissonettes with a nice pass. Yamada. Dug there by Nagata. Here's Yamada again. She'll just tip it over. Coven is right there. Tower's going to set up Coven. Coven with a little tip when nobody's home. The Blues are feeling it now, 21-19. it back to serve again, and here she comes. Mueller off the top of the net. McNeese pops it up, and the Chargers will just have to send it over. They send it deep. Nagata is there. Towers going to send up Koven, who's had the hot hand, but she's rejected. Great dig by Nagata. Going to set up Yamada. Yamada with a tip. Griffiths is there. Here's Koven. Koven off a block and down, and the Chargers are on the net. 21-20. A flurry of activity from both sides. Chargers huddling up. Still ahead by a point. And more importantly on the big scoreboard, up 1-0 in the match. McNeese with a nice pass. Yamada again going to get the sets and miss hit into the net. And now tied 21-21. The Chargers will call a timeout. You talk about momentum swings. All the momentum in the side of the Chargers, then all of a sudden a couple of kills by Megan Koven, a couple of excellent defensive digs as well by the Blues, and this game is tied. This match, I should say, is tied at 21. Only one time in the seasonal series did this rivalry between the Blues and the Chargers go more than 3 sets. Chargers sweeping the Blues 3 out of the 4 times. The other time, it was the Blues, going to 4 sets. Blues played in a 5-set thriller yesterday, beating Douglas, the 3rd seed, now trying to knock off the 2nd seed. We saw a couple of years ago, 2016, I believe it was, when we were at Columbia Bible College. That's where the provincial championship was. And the Cotter Avalanche, they were the 6th seed, and they knocked off the 3rd-seeded Camosun Chargers, knocked off the 2nd-seeded Capilano Blues, and then knocked off the 1st-seeded VIU Mariners. That one out by Mueller. So they went 3-2-1. Lucas is going to sub in for Mueller, and then she will leave as Gatto will come in as the libero. And 22-21. So the Blues trying to do that exact same thing here in 2020. Eliminated the 3rd-seeded Royals, but they got a lot of work to do to knock off this 2nd-seeded Charger team. Great dig by Zakara. Yamada will send it across. Towers chases that one down. Koven has to adjust and gets it inside the sideline. What a play by Megan Koven. How she was able to twist her arm, get that ball down inside the sideline was outstanding, and ties it at 22. Towers will go back to serve. In the middle, knocked down by Bella McKimmey. She gets her first point of the postseason. That's 6'1" in her 2nd year out of Victoria. I should note back in 2016, even though the Avalanche knocked off the VIU Mariners, who were the #1 team that year, both teams went out east to compete in the Nationals, and VIU won that season. That one into the net. Ties it at 23. Cotter did not medal, but they got their banner from the PACWEST, their only one. It was such a fun atmosphere to be part of, just like this one is right now. And Koven tied at 23. Here she comes, and that one into the net. So now a set point for the Chargers. And Gracie May is going to check back in for Camosun, as McKimmey, who got herself a kill, will depart. And also into the game is Kazanowski. So Gracie May will go back to serve with the set on the line, 24-23. Taking her time, now she'll deliver. Towers chases that one down. Koven will have to send it over on the free ball. Can the Chargers take advantage? Backdoor is Swissonick. Nagata is there. Towers right back to even Nagata. And did it go off a hand? It did. And ties it at 24. Coming into the ball game will be Samantha Wright for the Blues. Wright will go back to serve. A rookie at a Campbell River. Saw her yesterday a couple of times against the Royals. First time we've seen her in this semifinal. 24-24, that serve. Yamada pops it up. Pompanio has to chase that one down. Off a block, Right with a huge dive and a save. Griffiths will knock it over. McNeese will go to Swissenek. Off a block, Coven. Griffiths again, the lefty into the top of the net. What a play by Samantha Wright, right here in front of the scorer's table. An all-out Superman dive. Superwoman dive, I should say. And she popped it up, a big smile on her face as she departs. As the libero, Gatto, comes back in. Set point once again. Swissenets will go back to serve. Swissenet. Gatto off her shoulder, and the Chargers take command of this match with a 26-24 victory after the ace by Swissenets. So the Blues will have to force a fourth and possibly fifth set if they want to play for gold. As we go to the third set, it's the Blues and the Chargers at the 2020 PACWEST Volleyball Championship. To the third set we go. Camosun in front 2-0 in this semifinal match, winning 25-20 and then 26-24. Some stats to pass along after 2 sets. For the Chargers, Mika Yamada still with 8 kills. She didn't record one in the second set. Zacharuk also with 8 kills. Swissenets now has 5, and Ewell had 3 big kills coming off the bench. Yamada, give her credit for 9 digs so far in this one. As far as the Blues go, Megan Coven really heated up. She had 1 kill in the first set, 7 in that second set. Now leads her club with 8. She also has 8 digs. Even Nagata, who's been quiet, well, she has 5 kills, but 11 digs for Nagata. She was terrific in that second set, I thought. And Jaylene Lucas will go back to serve. Lucas is serve. Handled there by Swissenets. Here's Yamada, dug by Griffiths. Here's Coven. Coven. They want a tip. And they got it. 1-0 Blues. Coven, her 9th kill of the afternoon. And now the Blues in front 1-0, where they were in the opening set. Here's Yamada. She'll try to punch it. Not there as the Blues send it back. Swissenet off the block, and Griffiths is there. Here's Coven again. Coven's rejected, but look who's there. It's Lucas. Koven will just tip it over. Swissenitz pops it up. Here's Yamada, sends it cross court. Griffiths with a nice dig. Here's Yamada. Pompanio with that dig. Here's Swissenetz. She'll send it over. Lucas with a diving dig, but that ball goes too far over. This one over as well, and Koven will tip it off a charger and out of bounds. Two 0 Blues. Trying to get back into this one. Both teams will be playing tomorrow. Just depends what medal they'll be playing for. Into the net. Lucas with the service error. And Lightburn pops up and she'll enter the game as Lucas leaves. And Yamada will go back to serve. Mika Yamada has an ace in this game, in this match. Throws it high, here she comes. Lightburn with a nice pass to Towers. They got it from the backcourt. Yamada with a dig. Zacharuk off a block, off Lightburn. Yamada keeps it alive. How about that? That was Nagata that kept it alive. Towers popped it over. Chargers didn't know what to do with it and then put it into the net. The Douglas Royals women's team know all about how good that defense is. As last night or yesterday afternoon, the Blues just seemed to get to every loose ball, throwing their bodies everywhere just to keep it alive. Just like we saw Nagata do this 1 second ago. Here's Yamada. Towers perfect position. Now backcourt for Nagata. Pompanio has to track that one down, and Zacharuk will just send it over on the free ball. There's a one-handed set. Chargers now to the attack. Zacharuk can't connect. Mistimed her jump. But the one-handed set by Towers was pretty. And it's 4-1 Blues. Here's Towers. McNee with a nice pass and then off a block and out of bounds. Chargers to the point. Kazanowski will come in. McNeese will have a seat. And Gracie May back to serve. Graduate of Belmont Secondary in Victoria. Off the arm of Nagata. Nagata and Lightburn exchange low tens and basically apologize to each other as both of them said, I got it, you got it. May back to serve again. Trailing 4-3, here she comes. This time it is a nice pass by Lightburn. Humiston with a kill off the block and a point, 5-3. McNeese will come back in. Gracie May will depart and Koven will go back to serve. Koven with an ace in this one. And here she comes. That is way too long. She mishit it. Looked like it went off her wrist. 5-4. Back to serve will be Swissenetz. Sydney Swissenetz, graduate of Memorial Composite in Spruce Grove. In the middle, that just punched over. Chargers will go to work now. This bump is going to be right against the nets. Huge rejection by Nagata. And Lucas will come back in for Cap. Six, 4. Humiston goes into the net. And it's 6-5 now. As Lightburn, the libero, comes back in. And going back to serve will be Zacharuk. Real Zacharuk. 21 aces during the regular season. There's the serve. Koven with a nice pass to Towers. In the middle, Lucas off the shoulder and out. Lucas with a big point. And Griffiths will go back to serve now. Out of Vancouver Tech Secondary. And here she comes, the southpaw. Swissonettes. Now here's Yamada. Just a little tip. Griffiths is there. Setting up Nagata far side off the block. Swissonettes with the dig. Here's Yamada from the backcourt. Good dig there by Lightburn. Towers tracks it down. McNeese with a pass. Zacharuk from the backcourt. Again, Nagata, she pushes it. Zacharuk, however, right there on the spot. There's Yamada off a block off Lightburn and out of bounds. Point to the Chargers. Well, you can't say this match is without excitement, because it's back and forth. Kaznowski now. Kaznowski twisting that ball in her hand. And here she comes. Her serve. Colvin with the pass to Towers. Backdoor wraparound for Lucas. Ball still in the air. Handled by the Chargers. That's Gracie May with a quick set and a smash. Excellent decision by the setter, Pompanio. Saw the Blues scrambling. Able to quick set May, who smashes it down to tie it at 7. Kazanowski, here she comes. This will go too long. And it's 8-7. Nagata. Fario Islands. Far, far away. Fario Islands. Griffiths will track this one down. And Colvin will have to send it over on the free one. She does. This one right up against the net. Nice set, but Nagata, somehow Yamada will get it in there. Nice set by Pompanio, who will now go back to serve. Able to keep the ball alive, close to the net. And then Yamada made no mistake. 8-8. Here's the serve. Towers with a little tip. Chargers were there, waiting for it. Yamada to Griffiths. Towers this time sets Colvin. Colvin's rejected, but right there is Yamada. Nagata, pardon me. That was Yamada. Back and forth they go. Hard to keep track. Off the top of the net went the Chargers, so a 4-hit called to Camosun. And Lucas now back to serve. 9-8. Here's Lucas. Swissonettes. Here's Yamada. Yamada with a kill. Yamada back to serve now. Pair of 9s on the board. And here she comes. Colvin with a nice pass to Towers. Wrap around. Humiston gets it down off a block. Towers now leading by a point. Zacharuk with a nice pass. Pompanio has to chase that one down. Zacharuk mishit. You can just hear it. Everybody knows that sound, especially an attacker. When you hear that sound, oh, it's a flub. And she will depart, and into the ballgame comes Madison Ewell, who was injected in that second set and made an immediate impact. See if she can have the same kind of impact here in this third set. Trailing 11-9. She has a nice pass here. In the middle, Gracie May rejected. Chargers still have the ball. Ewell will send it over. Colvin taps it up. They got it right back to Megan. Megan will find the corner. Yamada is there. And McNeese, good effort by the libero. It falls for a point for Cap, but it's 12-9. And Towers will go back to serve again. Nice little string here by Kelsey. Here she comes. This one just over the net. McNeese is there. Power side, Swissonek. She's rejected. Colvin and Humiston got a hand on that one. And it's 13-9. As the Chargers are doing a little housekeeping. Yamada using her hands rather than her feet, and then her feet, and now a towel comes out. Yamada was, where was that 5 seconds ago? And the cleanup is done. Cleanup aisle 5. 13-9. Towers back to serve. Kelsey Towers' serve goes off the top of the net, played there by Ewell. Here is Swissenik off a block and down. And it's 13-10. Kazanowski will come back in for the libero McNeese as Gracie May goes back to serve. May trying to get the Chargers back in this one. And she does with an ace there. 27 during the regular season, gets one here in this set. Makes it 13-11. 6'2", tallest player on the team for the Chargers. And a member of the all-rookie team with her sister Hannah May on the bench. We haven't seen Hannah, we just saw her briefly in that second set. Griffiths will send it over. Now the Chargers go back to work. Here's Ewell off the block and down. As Coven and Humiston couldn't close up tight enough. The ball squirted between them and down for a point to cut the lead to 1. Served by May. Coven on that side. Coven gets a kill. Extend the lead to 2. (14-12). Here's Coven. Handled there by McNeese. Set for Swissenik. Swissenik just inside the line. Swissenek's been terrific here today. Coming into this one, in this set I should say, she had 5 kills. Remember in that first set, she had no luck whatsoever. She was blocked a handful of times, but has kept at it and kept the pressure on. Her serve now here. Towers has it, and Coven has to send it over in the free. Yamada is there. Here's Ewell. Ewell off the block of Griffith. Towers right back to Griffiths. A little tip, but she's rejected somebody on the nets, and it's the Chargers. Katie Whaling and Hannah May will check back in now for the Chargers. Looks like Swissenets will go have a seat, as will Papanio. And we'll see if that injects a little life into the Chargers, who trail by 2. With Humiston will go back to serve. Dig by Ewell. Whaling. That's Ewell again. Good dig by this center Towers. Griffiths will send it over, but send it long. And it's 15-14. Back to serve is Madison Ewell. Played her first year of college ball at Oregon, they tell me. Towers will set up Nagata. Nagata down the line, Whaling is there. Gonna set up for Yamada, goes off the block. Nagata tracks that one down in the middle. That's Lucas off a couple of players, and they'll be called for a lift. Hannah May couldn't quite get her hands together in time. And now it's 16-14. Good battle here between these two teams. That's what we expect in the postseason, don't we? Whaling will set Yamada, and she'll get a kill. 16-15. Now a sub again for the Chargers. Julia Kurtzmar will come in as Kazanowski will go have a seat. Kurtzmar, first-year kid out of Campbell River, was a national level figure skater at age 12. Gets it to Coven. Wrap around, Lucas will send it over, and the Chargers can't handle it. Good play by Lucas with a little push. Now another substitution. as Kadanowski will come back in, and then she'll depart for the libero, as Kurtzmar has just come on to serve, and now she's back out again. Nagata will go to serve. Eva's serve, handled there by Yamada. She gets it right back off the block. Towers reaches around and keeps it alive. Here's Koven, cross court. Yamada is there. Mika's gonna get it right back off the block. Rejected there by Lucas. A huge stop. And it's 18-15. Eva, part of the all-rookie team, will once again go back to serve. Her serve. Yamada pops it up. Backdoor, this is Hannah May. She's rejected. With two Mays on the floor now. Here's Yamada. Light burn, pops it up. That one's still saved. Can she get it across? She does! What a play by Capilano. Koven off a block. Yamada dives for it. Hannah May tips it over. Towers was there. Now it's Nagata. She'll just tip it over. Hannah May there. Here's Yamada. What a rally this is. An outstanding rally. How did Lightburn and Nagata get to that loose ball at the far end of the gym? And then Lightburn hammered it back just over the net. That was fun to watch. Chargers kept their composure though, and were able to get the point. Creep a little closer, cut the lead to 18-16. And now Hannah will go back to serve. Handled there by Nagata. This one a little too close to the net by Towers. Tried to feed a leaping Lucas. May won 3 high school championships, so she knows a little something about playing in big matches. Saw limited action last year as a rookie. And here she comes, and that one will go too far, long. And now Mueller will check in again for Capilano, as Lucas will have a seat. And Mueller, second-year player to Langley Christian, go back to serve with a 2-point lead, trying to extend this semifinal. Here's Yamada. Yamada finds a spot. And the libero will check back in, as will Lucas. Lucas will check in for Mueller. Euclid still needs to come in properly. Now Mueller leaves, so does Lucas, grabs her water bottle back, and we're ready to play 19-18. Here's Mika Yamada. She'll toss it up, here she comes. Good pass by Nagata, over to Koven. Koven will tip it, but rejected. Koven gonna get it right back. Blocked by Gracie May. But it's Gracie May, I think, on the net, or was wailing. One of the two were on the net. That was a tough call against the Chargers. And now Katie Whaling relaying a message from Coach Hall about either that call or a play that happened earlier. Whaling chatting things over, and the discussion is over. She relays a message to Brent, and I think we're ready to rock again. 2018, Blues with the lead and the serve. Here comes Kelsey Towers. Her serve. Chargers are going to work. Gracie May. May off a block, going to stay on the Chargers side. Now they're going to step the other way. This is Ewell, and Ewell just wide. 21-18 Blues. Now a substitution. Pompanio will come back in for Camosun, as will Swisonets, as Hannah May and Katie Whaling will depart. (21-18). The Chargers want to make sure they have the proper rotation. And I believe they have it now. Towers will go back to serve, leading 21-18. Here she comes. McNeese with a nice pass. Back door for Swisonets. She's rejected. Coven and Humiston with a big block, and a timeout called by the Chargers, who trail 22-18. Good timeout by Coach Brett Hall. But the momentum in the side of the Capilano Blues are trying to extend this semifinal. Ahead 22-18, but down 2-0 in this semifinal match, with a berth, not only a gold medal match on the line, but a berth in the CCAA National Championship. Because regardless of what happens in that gold medal tomorrow at 5:30, both those teams will be headed to the CCAA National Championship. We'll see the other semifinal coming up later. VIU, the top seed, taking on the 4th-seeded Cascade. Cascade playing in a thriller yesterday, a 5-set affair against the Cotter Avalanche. Winning that one. And we haven't seen the Mariners yet, earning the right to have a bye into the semifinal after an incredible regular season at 24-0. 24-0. Impressive. And most of those matches courtesy of the 3-set sweep. Here's Towers as we go back to action. Swisonets. Good dig by Nagata. Lightburn can't quite get there, as Swisonets put a little extra mustard on that one. And it's 22-19 now, with Gracie May back to serve, with her sister yelling at her from the bench. Words of encouragement, of course. This is going to be sent over on a free ball by the Blues. A setup for Ewell. Ewell goes wide. And it's 23-19. Coven is going to depart, and Gatto, who changes jerseys from the libero jersey to a regular player jersey, will go back to serve for Coven. Here's Gatto. Her serve. Yamada handles that one. Swisonets into the bleachers off the arm of Lightburn, and it's 23-20. I like the play of Swissonet here. Sydney Swisonets, who's gone back to serve. Very strong match. Here she comes. Nice pass by Lightburn. Here's Griffiths. Griffiths is rejected. Ewell with a big block. And the chant of Ewell coming from the Chargers bench. And now the Blues want a timeout. Whatever was said in that previous timeout by Coach Hall got the Chargers troops fired up. And they've come back with a couple of huge points here after that massive block by Ewell. And again, Swissonet, part of the action as well, got the kill, then a big serve to set everything up. So Swissonets, again, has been a major factor. And you want to see that from your veteran players. I mean, she is in her 4th season with the Chargers. One of the leaders on this team. Got Whaling in her 5th year. That's the only 5th-year player they have. Swissonet's in her 4th. And then a handful of 3rd-year players. So the future looking bright again for the Chargers. Coming to action as the 2nd seed. Earning the right for the bye after a 15-9 record. Coach Brent Hall, named the Coach of the Year for the 2nd straight campaign. Speaking of Swissonets, she'll go back to serve with a 23-21 differential. Towers going to set Nagata, a little too quick for Nagata. She'll punch it over, and here go the Chargers to work. This is Ewell. Towers will collect it. Nagata down the line. And it's set point for Capilano. And Samantha Wright will check back in. Lucas also back into the ball game. Set point for the Blues. Here's Wright. Her serve, a floater. Yamada handles it there. Here's Ewell. Ewell off the top of the net. Blues have a chance here. This is Nagata. Off the block, out of bounds, and the Blues. Oh, wait a minute. It's down on the Cap side. Went off a block, it looks like. So Wright will come back in, or will depart, pardon me. Humason is going to come back in. And it's 24-22. I thought that was it. And Ewell will go back to serve for the Chargers. Ewell serve. Nice serve. This is Griffiths, a little tip. Chargers will go to work. Setting up Yamada. Yamada, but Gatto is there. Now Nagata. Nagata, a little tip, but it doesn't even make it over the nets. And now time is called by the official. I think he wants to have either a sweep or he wants to tell Nagata not to hit the ball again. As Nagata, frustrated with herself, bumped the ball up and hit the ceiling. Referee didn't like that. He said that's a no-no. Calls over the captain, that's Towers. And said, tell Nagata not to do that again. She had a big smile on her face. She knows. Referee just has to say it. And now a timeout called by the Blues, who are still sitting at set point. 24-23, trying to extend this semifinal. Chargers want to come back and end it quickly. Chargers won that second set in extra points, 26-24. Regardless of what happens, both teams playing for a medal tomorrow. The women's bronze medal will happen at 12:30 tomorrow. And then the gold medal match will happen at 5:30 tomorrow. The men's bronze, by the way, is at 3 tomorrow, and the men's gold at 8 o'clock. This is the first set of first match of 4 semifinals here today. And out of the timeout, both teams come back out on the floor. And Madison Ewell back to serve. Can't afford to make a mistake. Still set point Blues. Here she comes. Lightburn with a nice pass to Towers in the middle. That's Lucas off a block. Nice play by Ewell. Here's Yamada. Yamada a little tip, but Towers is right there. Backcourt, Gatto will just have to send it over. She does. Here come the Blues back to work. Griffiths. Dug there by Swisonets. Here's Yamada. Yamada off a block. And the Chargers tied at 24. Megan Colvin going to check back in for Capilano as Gatto will depart. And this is where we were in the second set. Tied at 24. Back to serve again is Ewell. Ewell serve, it goes long. And it's 25-24. Griffiths will depart. Coming into the game for the Blues is Kate Sykes. I haven't seen Sykes yet in this match, in this semifinal. She has a chance to end it here. 25-24. Here's the serve. McNeese. Here's Yamada. Yamada off the block. She ties it at 25. (25-25). Extra points needed in this one. Now a substitution for Camosun. Bella McKimmey is going to check back in. Saw her in the second set. Gracie May will depart. McKimmey, 6'1". Play the front court, a graduate of Victoria High. Kazanowski back to serve, all knotted at 25. Here she comes, her serve, a floater. Nagata can't handle that one. It's in the stands, and now match point for the Chargers. Griffiths is going to check in for Capilano. As coming out of the ball game after a serve is Kate Sykes. And Kazanowski, an opportunity to end it here. Spinning the ball in the palm of her hand, and here she comes. Her serve. And Koven will have to send it over on the free ball. A chance for the Chargers now. Yamada. Koven is there with a dig. In the middle, Lucas throws it over. Swisonets is there. Yamada again off the block. Towers with a save. Griffiths will keep it in play, and Koven sends it over. Match point, don't forget. This is Yamada again. Takes a little off. And the Camosun Chargers are off to the PACWEST gold medal match and the national championship. A 3-set sweep for the Chargers. And they're off to the gold medal match tomorrow at 5:30. But also a berth in the national championship tournament in Quebec in a few weeks' time. Congratulations to Coach Hall. What a gutsy performance by the Capilano Blues. The Blues will play for bronze tomorrow at 12:30, same time, as the two teams shake hands. We'll get the players of the match, and then we'll have that player of the match for Camosun, and also the coach over here in the broadcast booth for a quick word following the presentation. So the Camosun Chargers will play for PACWEST Gold tomorrow at 12:30. Congratulations to the Chargers. And the Blues, what a gutsy performance here today after that 5-set marathon yesterday, eliminating the Royals. But like so many times in the regular season, the Chargers, a 3-set sweep over the Blues. 3 out of the 4 meetings, now making it 4 out of the 5 meetings this season, ends in a 3-set sweep. So we'll see the players of the match. My vote for player of the match for Camosun is Sydney Swisonets. I don't know if they'll listen to me or not, but I thought she played great. On the Capilano side, it's tough. They had so many excellent performances. Agata was good. Koven, of course, was strong.
Number 15, Kelsey Towers.
And it's Kelsey Towers. Excellent choice. The setter, she was terrific. She's the player of the game for the match for Capilano.
And from Camosun, number 12, Sydney Swisonets.
And it is Sydney Swisonets for Camosun. She was excellent. She got stuffed a few times in the first set, but came right back. She was good in the second and the third and helped punch their ticket to the gold medal match. Now we'll hopefully get a word here with Sydney and Coach Hall as well.
First semifinal of the men's draw featuring the number 2 seed Vancouver Island University Mariners versus the number 3 seed Capilano University Blues.
The PA announcer just taking a quick break, telling everybody what's on the way next. Coming up at 3 o'clock. In an hour's time, we'll get a look at the men's bracket. As Katie Whaling has come over to the scorer's table to officially sign the score sheet, as will Megan Koven. And then we'll get Coach Hall over here to have a conversation with us, but also Sydney Swisonek. Coach will don the headset. Coach, congratulations on this one. How did you feel in a 3-set sweep?
Thanks a lot, Ryan. Yeah, it was pretty exhilarating. Lots of really tight rallies, and that third set really came down to the wire. So I think the fans got their money worth.
They certainly did. What was the key for your club here? They thought they played well all over the place.
Yeah, I think the key was mostly mental. We knew that if we played our game the way that we can, that we had a good shot at winning. And Capilano has such tenacious defense that they really put the emphasis on being patient and earning each point. So we had a lot of discussion coming in, just focusing on earning 1 point at a time, and I think that really paid off down the stretch, especially in that tight third set.
How about Sydney? She was named the player of the match. I thought in the first set she was stuffed a few times, but didn't seem to get discouraged or go away from what was working all regular season. She came back and she was strong in the second and third set.
She was. You know, I don't think that was her best offensive night, but the fact that she was named as player of the game is a testament to her all-around skill set. Serving, I thought that was one of her best defensive performances of the season, and she was solid blocking as well.
You got 2 second-team All-Stars on the team, Katie Whaling and also Hannah May. We didn't see much of them. What was the strategy behind that?
Well, part of it was matchup specific. We feel like Sydney's doing a really great job right now, and we thought she'd match up well against Capilano. And she competes for time with Hannah. Katie's just recovering from an ankle injury, so it was nice to see her test out a little bit, mostly through the back row, and kind of survive that. So hopefully that means she'll be ready for our trip to nationals in a couple weeks.
First thought of playing for gold. Do you think of PACWEST gold, or now do you think, okay, I'm going to the nationals? What do you think? First priority must be the gold medal for the PACWEST.
I think we're kind of taking it one game at a time, and obviously that was a big hurdle to get through that match, and we knew there was a lot of pressure on that match to qualify for nationals. So that does feel like checking one box, and I guess now it feels like we got nothing to lose. We're stepping in against an undefeated team, and I think it's prime for us to battle for it, and we're going to go for it, definitely, and that'll be the cherry on top if we can pull it out.
All right, Coach, we'll let you go. Congratulations on the win. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
All right, that's Brent Hawley. He's the head coach of the Camosun Chargers. Now, he failed to mention that there's still another chance for the VIU Mariners to get knocked off, because they still have to play the UFE Cascades tomorrow or today to win the right to move on to gold. So maybe jump in the gun a little bit. We'll see what the Cascades can bring later on this afternoon at 5:30. Congratulations to the Camosun Chargers. They will play for PACWEST gold and national gold as well. We'll step aside as the Chargers in a 3-set sweep over the Capilano Blues here this afternoon. We'll be back in 47 minutes or so with the men's semifinal live from the 2020 PACWEST Championship.